Hello, welcome to another video, Scouring Early Access. Today's game is going to be a 4 versus 4 game. On my team it's going to be me, the perfect gamer, my ally RB Man, Scrat, and C-Buscemi6, and the enemy team is going to be Numbers, and probably Chinese player, then Attila, My Dream Forever, and Dinchi Code. And we did spawn a little separated. One of our allies, Black. It's gonna be big trouble because there's two enemies that spawn really close to him. Anyways, I spawn as a white human player. I do the archer build because Vopli ruined the warrior start, so that's why pretty much no one ever does it. Over here, yellow C-Buscemi6, also doing an archer build. Over here, a purple orc, RB Man. It's a newer player, but we always welcome new players. It's more fun to play with people than to wait for hours for people to fill up a lobby. It's just doing a basic barracks. And I guess learning the game, I would say. Over here, the red player, Attila, playing his red orc. He's doing a archer build, I would guess. Because he has a logging camp in the barracks. Over here, the Chinese blue player. Probably also going to be doing some archers, but I guess he timed his logging camp a little later. But this is also a little interesting position for their barracks. I guess this one somewhat makes sense because you can, I guess, get all the XP by shooting these wolves over here. But it does leave open this front, and enemies can just run in here. But anyways, this barracks is a little interesting because after you clear these units, it's now no real point to it being here. Could have put it next to these wolves here so you can level up your archers a little more. And up here, the orange player, orange orc, Nucci code, is doing a warriors build order. I guess probably because he just wants to level up these warriors so he can overwhelm the enemy that's very close to him. And over here, the black player, Scrat, playing as black human. He's doing a archer build, but I guess he built his barracks over here. Can defend these two positions, but he's not really leveling up his archers. Because he could have made his barracks over here. Shot these wolves, but I guess you also have to know how the maps are structured and where all the neutrals are at. The final enemy, My Dream Forever, playing as a Cyan orc player. Looks like he's also doing a archer build. And over here, just making all the archers. Not clear this camp, so I'm thinking of making a second base. Just making a base here wouldn't make any sense. Because my ally would have to go past my base to get on second base. And I guess over here the black player sent a single peasant to potentially migrate to this part of our map. He probably knows that he's going to be getting double teamed by these two players on top. And here I start a second base. Probably the only player making a second base. Orange is getting a tier 2 upgrade. Where's Town Hall? Maybe he wants to have a better defensive position. Gives you like a rooftop, I guess, the barracks, so maybe that's why he wants to do that. And over here I saw my ally was building a town hall here, so I wanted to clear this troll so it wouldn't be bothering him. And also this game is set for goblin mode, which is why you can see some goblins here that are running around, but at the same time both the enemy players, cyan and orange, they begin assaulting the base of a black player. And of course the goblins are here to have their share of violence, but this is not really slowing them down that much, and they're gaining more XP and gold by killing these goblins than these goblins, I guess, taking out their units that much. Okay, so over here, yellow saw that he's going to be winning this 2v1 here, so he decides to run into the base of a cyan player to try and kill all of his workers. And of course at the same time the goblins attack cyan player's base. And over here I tried to maybe go and help out yellow, but then I saw that my ally was being killed by some goblins here, so I tried to run home and try and save my ally here. I didn't really have much units here, so I tried to use a few archers to take the attention away, because my ally's town hall was about to be destroyed and he would be eliminated here. Here I somehow managed to take the attention of this troll, which allowed my ally's town hall to survive on 4 health, which was super as close as it gets. He was like single hit away from being killed, but I managed to save him here and then clear up all these goblins. But I guess strategically this ally being alive is just going to be draining all this gold here. It's going to make it a little difficult for the yellow player to get a second base, but sometimes it can also be good to have a extra player to pay attention to your base and just defend it, or just make all the cannons to help out with defense, because it's going to take you forever to get back into the game when you have only a few workers. Here, made a stables, making a smoothie. So yeah, I guess I was just trying to get a tier 3 town hall as fast as possible, so I can get the worker upgrade and then spam out a few workers as well. Here there wasn't much left to do, so I decided to take the middle tower, which can be pretty useful because enemies have to run through here and then deal with these goblins before having the opportunity to run into my base here. And on the left here, the yellow player actually managed to stop this attack from the cyan player by building a few barricades, which actually are pretty useful, I guess, and just slowing down the enemy from attacking your base directly. And those few seconds could mean the difference between winning and losing sometimes. And over here, the cyan player doesn't really have much left here. And on top of that, a few surviving goblins from middle tower, and now are going to be having their way with his workers, which is not a perfect time for it to happen, as he wants to do an attack against the yellow player. But it was kind of funny that the yellow player decides to run away, not even defend his own base, which just leaves me to defend him. I guess over here. Sci-Fire ran away. The goblins didn't feel like fighting him anymore. Here Yell pretty much loses a good amount of workers, but we do clean up this whole army pretty much mostly for free. I didn't really lose any units. So now at least we're like a 3 versus 3 game where we have a, I guess, slow down or crippled ally here. And Sign is also crippled because he doesn't have much of a economy. And here he just says, God damn it, pretty much. Here the orange player got like killing my archers. And so I decided to, I guess, create a few archers to kill a good amount of his warriors. Which I thought it was a fair trade. Because it does look like he did lose a few more warriors than I did lose archers here. I guess enemies are trying to regroup. Maybe potentially attacking this base. Blue, orange, and red is over here. So, right side of a base, or part of a map. It's not going to be under attack anytime soon. Which is, I guess, good for this newer player who's just learning the game. Here I just place a few cannons, which should somewhat help out my ally if he gets attacked. But if enemy gets shields, then it's going to be a little more difficult. And we're pretty much going to see what's going to happen here. And here we get attacked. My cannons kill 3 units, which is very terrible. But I guess it is what it is. And you just want to support your cannons. Because by themselves they're not going to be holding much. Over here I try to help my ally. And eventually my ally does lose a good amount of his army, but we managed to push away these enemies. Or yes, for red player's army. And we pretty much destroy orange's and blue's army. And I guess here I pretty much need a church. I guess I research the cure ability. Just gonna allow my cavaliers to be more effective in the field. Producing a few apprentices. Only for 1 town hall. But I guess it's still gonna be effective if you have at least 5 apprentices. Which can give a good amount of magic shields, or even a few dispels that can help you in fighting enemy players. So you should always try to get a few apprentices or warlocks, because they can decide or determine the outcome of battles by just being very effective with their supportive magic or abilities, you could say. Over here, goblin wave that was supposed to be attacking the black bear spawned right in the middle of my base, which was sort of funny because there's out of vision here. They usually spawn in a place where there's out of darkness. Audio was fine because my army was very close to this position. And pretty much here my plan was to try and get a third base. Yeah, and I was thinking that it would be too annoying to get a base over here. It would be easier to fight my way through the enemies on the right part of the map and get a base over here. But of course, right as I was about to attack, my wave actually spawns over here. The goblin wave, and then now it's going to be running over here to try and kill my base. In the meantime, the blue player was enjoying his goblin wave here. On the top here, the orange player didn't have much issues with his, I guess, goblin wave. And here I think the cyan player's goblin spawn, but now the orange player is going to be losing one of his cannons, which could have been more useful when fighting us. Over here, my yellow ally made a second base, which is why I wanted to go in the north here to get a third base. Because if I took this base, then it would be kind of lame. It wouldn't make any sense because my yellow ally wouldn't have any more bases to go to. Anyways, I was just attacking here. And I just had a lot of apprentices. Around 4, I guess. It's a pretty good amount. We can give so many magic shields that your units are going to be pretty much unkillable. And I guess after defeating these units here, I didn't really see much resistance. So I decided to continue on attacking. But of course I had to target fire these cannons to make sure that I wouldn't have that many losses. Now here the orange player finally gets the rage ability research, but I already had the dispel ability research, so I just easily dispel his munchers. And I pretty much lose very few units here. And then here I just take care of these cannons, which can't really shoot directly below themselves, which I guess is one of the weaknesses of the cannon. And here I guess I was just cleaning up the units here. And over here purple tried to attack the red player. But I guess red player would manage to take care of this little attack here. I guess a single archer. We killed all the workers here. Finally gets eliminated here. Now here I make a third base. Or technically second, because my first one ran out. And here I sent on reinforcements from my cavaliers. And about now, I was about to go attack the red player's base, but I realized I had all the gold, which I could use to buy all the potions before attacking, so that's why I went here first. And over here, somehow the red player is the one defending the cyan player here. Even though the red player's base is going to be attacked very shortly. Very shortly. But I guess he is being auto-annoying and just controlling this position really well. And over here, the army cavaliers is beginning to do a big assault against red player's base. But the red player doesn't have the rage or that many other units, so it's going to be very difficult for him to do anything at this point. And a blue player, which has a few munchers, a few archers, so not that much of an army left. And here, the red player surrenders. And pretty much blue's gonna be surrendering here any second now as well. You know, here I guess the orange player knew that the game was over, but he wanted to, I guess, kill the army of the yellow player because the yellow player annoys him a lot. Steve Buscemi. Didn't you go? And I guess you have some kind of beef. So if he was gonna lose, then might as well bully the yellow player a little bit here. And here he does pretty much clean up the yellow's army pretty effectively, but the yellow player did put out of cannons here, so this muncher's not going to be going anywhere anytime soon. Here the cyan player surrenders because he pretty much has an army, and then the orange player follows him after that. See results. I guess here we can see that I managed to kill most of the enemies because I was defending my allies half the time. And I guess it was a little interesting how I managed to save my black ally, even though his final building was just one hit away from elimination. And that's pretty much it. If you liked the video, you can leave a like, leave a comment. If you want to see more videos in the Scouring Early Access, then you can subscribe. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.